Assalamu alaikum dear students, this is Miss Aisha Anwar from Biotic Academy and I hope you all are in good condition and you are enjoying the topics which I am sharing on my YouTube channel. Hopefully you are understanding the concept which I am teaching you through my channel. So today we are going to start with a new topic, that is movement into and out of the cell. In this topic we are basically going to cover the concept of diffusion and osmosis, as we are discussing the topic under the heading of biology, and biology is the study of living organism. So there should be a question arise in our mind that what are the mechanisms through which the body of living organism are transporting or exchanging the material with their surrounding. So these are the two important transport system which occurs in the body of the living organism in order to take in the useful material and in order to get rid of the waste product which are basically produced as a result of reaction in the cell, as a result of metabolic reactions within the cell. So in order to cover this topic we need to understand that there should be a medium through which this transport system will work, and the medium for this transport is basically water. Water is basically a medium of life and it's the most important compound in the body of the living organism because it makes up 70 to 95% of the body of the most of living organism, depending about the type of living organism. And water is important solvent. Why it is important? What are the qualities of water due to which we say that it's a universal solvent? Some of the qualities I have listed here. First of all, it dissolves substances. It has this ability, water has this ability to dissolve a wide variety of solutes in it, and because of this ability of it, it is able to transport material within the body of the living organism, within the cell, around the cell. So water has this ability to dissolve a wide variety of substances into it, and it's an important component of body solution. Body solution, with reference to human, if we talk about, we produce different type of solutions in our body like sweat, blood, tear, saliva and urine. And as you know that these all body solutions contain a big proportion, 70 to 80% they or 90% they composed of water, and these are the solutions which are having some materials, some solutes within it, which are being transported through this water. For suppose if I talk about sweat, sweat is basically produced by the body in order to get rid of the energy, heat energy which is produced as a result of cellular respiration in the cell. So heat energy is basically lost through the sweating, and sweat not only helps to control the body temperature but also helps to remove urea through it. And excess water, if our body contain excess water, that is also being removed through sweat, plus it also helps to remove the heat energy from the body. So sweat is basically a fluid, a solution which is coming out from the skin through sweat pores, and it used to remove all this waste material along with the help of this water. Now the second one is blood. Blood is basically a medium of transport within the body of humans, and blood is basically a mixture of so many things, including the nutrients, hormones, enzymes, waste material, useful material, different type of salts in it are present in the blood, and they all are being transported to the different tissues of the body, and the waste material are being collected from the different tissues of the body and transported to different excretory organs of the body. So through the medium blood we used to get rid of our waste material, and the body is used to receive the useful material from the respective organ system. Third one is tear. Tear is also helpful in maintaining the condition of your eye in healthy situation. Tear is basically not only help to keep the eye hydrated, but it also help to trap the dust particles or the bacteria which used to enter in our body along with the air, used to try to enter in our body through the eye, through the air. So these tears are basically there in the eye through the tear gland. They are produced in the eye, in order to trap those bacteria or the dust particles and remove them out of the eye. Saliva is present in the mouth and it contains many enzymes in it which are used for the digestion. Specifically, I'll talk about the amylase enzyme, which is helpful in breaking down of the carbohydrate food component. And saliva also contains some other chemicals, mucin, which help to moisten the food bolus so that we can chew easily. Without saliva we cannot chew the food easily, so it's also very important, and it is containing a big proportion by percentage of water in it. So it also contains water in a big proportion. And urine is also a excretory product of our body, which is formed after the filtration of blood, and it contains urea, excess water, excess salt in it. So these are the waste products which are produced in our body, and we need to get it off. And with the help of urine, which is basically containing a big proportion of excess water, which dissolve all these excretory products into it, and through the urinary bladder and through the urethra we used to get rid of these waste products. So water is again playing a very important role in the transportation of these excretory products out of the body. Third property of water is carries substances throughout the body. As I told you that it is very helpful in delivering the substances to the respective organs and the tissues, and taking the waste product from these tissues to the respective excretory organs. So how this process of transportation take place, what are the mechanism or what are the pathway by which cell is basically getting rid of these waste products and taking in the useful material. So transport system in cell is basically classified into these three types. Basically it is divided into two broad categories, and then first category is further divided into three. First one is passive transport and second one is active transport. These are the two broad groups of cell transport, passive and active. What is the difference between passive and active? Passive transport is that type of transport system in which material move or substances move from one concentration, from high concentration to lower concentration without any application or need of the energy. But in case of active transport, material usually move from one concentration to higher concentration to from lower concentration to higher concentration, and here they require pumps. Means here it is down the concentration gradient and here it is against the concentration gradient. Likewise this. So it is difficult to move the material from low concentration to high, but it's easy to move the material from high concentration to low. So passive transport doesn't require any application of energy, but in active transport cell need energy. Now passive transport is further divided into these three types: simple diffusion, osmosis and facilitated diffusion. Simple diffusion is just the movement of molecules or ions from the higher concentration to lower concentration down the concentration gradient. And in osmosis and diffusion can take place with and without membrane. It may take place in the presence of membrane, and it may take place in the absence of membrane. It doesn't require membrane as a compulsory part. Now the second one is osmosis. Osmosis is basically the movement of water molecules from one water potential solution to second water potential solution across the membrane. It needs a membrane in it. It's compulsory to have a membrane between the two fluids, so that membrane can separate the two fluids which are having different concentrations. Third one is facilitated diffusion. Now the difference between simple and facilitated diffusion is that facilitated diffusion requires some transport membrane. It's basically it requires some transport protein in the membrane of the cell to transport the material down the concentration gradient. It is the same thing like the substances are moving from high concentration to lower concentration, but they require some transport protein in the membrane which help the material or solutes to move out of the cell to inside from higher concentration to lower concentration. But in simple diffusion, cells don't need any kind of the help of the transport membrane. And in active transport, they need pumps or vesicles, and then further it is divided into primary and secondary. These are the details which basically your syllabus don't require right now, just now, but in the later topics we will be discussing them in detail. Now for the movement of material, we need to understand that all the particles which are present within the cell or within the body, they need to be in the condition of motion. They need to be in the condition of, or in the situation of random motion, so that they can move from one location to another location in the body, from one direction to another direction in the body. All the things in the cell, they are not in stagnant condition, they are not like stationary. All the things which are present within the cell, they are basically bombarding each other. Material are bombarding each other, they are colliding with each other, they are in random motion, and due to this random motion, they are basically producing or showing energy that is called kinetic theory or kinetic energy. Kinetic theory of matter basically tells us that the material or the particles are in continuous motion. That is not specifically a topic of chemistry only, that is also applicable within the body of the living organism as well. Like in cell, the ions, the solutes, the water molecule, the gases, they are continuously in motion, they are not stationary. They are continuously bombarding with each other, and they are moving within the cell from one position to another position, and that is all being because of this theory that is basically showing us or telling us about the thing that the particles are continuously in random motion and they are moving at different speed, and so in all directions. So it means that for the movement of material within the cell, within the body of the living organism, particle needs to move with the help of the energy, that is their kinetic energy, that is being produced because of the motion of these particles. So these particles are continuously in motion and they produce, they show their kinetic energy. Like you can see three situations over here: the particle location of the particles in case of gases, in case of liquid, and in case of solid. Even in case of solid, you can see that they have a specific arrangement of the atoms or the ions, but they are basically showing a little bit movement within them, and that is needed for the movement of particles from one direction to another direction. So kinetic theory of matter is basically applicable within the cell also, and due to which the cells are showing the content which are present within the cell cytoplasm are showing their locomotion, they are showing their movement within the cell and taking part in the metabolic reactions of the cell. So I hope you like the explanation which I gave you about this topic today, and you will be understanding all these concepts in more detail further in my next video. Till here, take care. This is Miss Aisha Anwar from Biotic Academy.